thinking about it, I saw Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. I think it's called 12 Rules for Living. And I admire Jordan Peterson very much, by the way. But I was thinking of our own principles, my own principles for living, ours that we have. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about those. And they're not in any particular order. I'm just going to kind of talk about them. The first one I was going to talk about was I just don't want to be sick today. We have a sign on one of the walls at Maple Street that says that. And it came from a kid I was sponsoring, a young man I was sponsoring, working with some years back. He also happened to be working for me in my concrete business. His name, well, it doesn't matter, I shouldn't probably use his name, but anyway, I saw him on the job one morning. He had come into the program and had sobered up and was working a pretty good program and had a pretty good inside condition. He had a pretty good hold, grasp on this new way of living, sobriety, and a spiritual way of life, a practical spiritual way of living. And I said, "How you doing today, Justin?" Well, there I did use his name. And he says, "Man, I'm doing great. It's going to be hot today. It's going to be, we had a lot of concrete to pour, and it gets really hot here in Kansas City in the summertime." I said, "Yeah, it's going to be a scorcher today, bud. You got to hold on to yourself." And he said, "Man, I don't care. It's fine. Bring it on. I just don't want to be sick today, and I'm not sick, and so everything else is fine. It's just okay." And we were laughing, and I could tell he really got it. He saw that, and that's a huge change, being most concerned about my state of mind, my state of being, my inside condition, as we call it, rather than worried about the things out here on the material plane, arranging life to suit myself, moving the pieces around the chessboard, trying to get what I want. That used to be my priority. It was vitally important that I got my own way every day. I mean, I never stopped thinking about me and what I wanted and what I needed, and when things didn't go my way, as inevitably they won't in life. Life's just life, and not everything is going to go the way you want it to go. I never seemed to catch on to that, though, and I'd have a fit that started like a 3-year-old throwing his food and banging on his high chair. And, a broken shoelace was enough to send me into a rage on some days. It was all about trying to control things out there and get my way and get what I wanted and get my duckies in a line in a row. And that all changed when I hit a hard enough bottom and turned to a spiritual answer. I just can't keep fighting with life. I can't keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, I could stop drinking for a little while, but I'd always start again because I was so crazy and so unhappy, and I didn't understand why. When I grabbed a hold of some simple spiritual tools that were laid out for me, and I began to practice them and listen to some people who knew how to live better than I do, knew how to live in their own skin, and they began to teach me how to live in my own skin. They knew a lot more, were more practiced in the art of living well than I was. But I saw that. I had enough honesty and sanity by the grace of God to see that when I encountered these people, and began to follow their lead and take some direction. And everything changed. And that's what Justin was talking about this morning. He was there. The lights were on, and it's like, everything's okay. Bring on the concrete. Let's do it. We're going to work and sweat a little bit, and it's all good. I'm making good money, and I'm glad to be alive, and I'm sober today. And the future looks wonderful. It's as wonderful as we care to make it, actually. So this is a very good rule for living. Focus on your inside condition and not the outside stuff. I just don't want to be sick today. How important is it really, this little problem you got? How important is it really compared to my serenity, compared to my mental wellness? And if you can remember that, and when I remember it, it puts things back in perspective. This just ain't no big deal. It's not a big deal. A good friend of mine says that all the time too.